Holy shit, guys. Dana White just did it, guys. This might be the best card ever announced on a Dana White live stream. Like, it's up there with UFC 300, guys. And I know it's only 3 fights, but UFC 320, guys, I swear, I'm a little bit tired, guys. I was just fucking punching the air outside working out. And then I saw a live notification right after I finished, and it was just Dana White dropping bangers, bro. Alex Pereira and Ankalaev, they're running it back, bro. Alex Pereira's going to try to get his revenge on Magomed Ankalaev. In this video, I'm just going to give my early predictions because a lot of these fights are bangers. But, like, look at, before I even talk about the individual fights, look at this, bro. This is the main event. The co-main, we got Dvalishvili fighting Corey Sandhagen, which Marab's active, you know. Like, this guy, I mean, I guess he went in there against Sugar and, like, beats on him, Dr. Dre, really easily. But the activity of Marab, you really got to applaud it, bro. And, of course, Corey is a Umar victim, but Corey did demolish Figgy in his last fight. I'm not mad at this title shot. I really don't care. You know, I don't know if you guys expect me to rant about that. I'm not going to do that. And then another fight on this card, Prochazka vs. Khalil Rountree, which is a banger fight because the whooping Khalil just gave Jamal. And just like kind of Yuri looks like he's coming into his own as well. So I feel like stylistically, this is a fun fight. Thank God we're not going to get, you know, I mean, if Yuri wins again, he's back in the title picture, but probably against Ank this time. But that fight's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about all that. And then 321, they did announce Aspinall Gane. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But let's start here, guys. Magomed Ankalaev is running it back with Alex Pereira. You know, they're getting in October. I heard like little rumbles about Pereira wants to wait till next year and stuff. So it looks like Pereira is mentally, it seems like he's back in it or like trying to be back in it. I see him in a lot of power slap events. He's in a karate combat a lot because his sister and stuff. Ankalaev been waiting for a fight, guys. I don't know if you guys remember. Ankalaev wants to fight sometime in the summer. No one available. This ends up getting pushed all the way back to October. Now they're back in Vegas, Ankalaev and Pereira. This time, Ankalaev as defending champ. This time, Pereira as challenger. Guys, the thing about Alex Pereira, guys, I can't lie to you. It's similar to like the Marab Sugar fight. I know there's going to be people saying, oh, Sugar's going to win this time around because since that last fight, he stopped smoking, stopped beating his dick. Yeah. Listen, I understand that every YouTuber, aside from like the ones who aren't like don't hate fucking Muslims and don't hate like the Russian fighters for no reason, they're going to pick Ankalaev. But most of them, oh yeah, Pereira, dude. Like it was off night, man. The truth of the matter is Pereira did everything. I'm not going to say right. He fought very safe. I'm hoping that Pereira's going to go in there and be a little bit more aggressive, but it's only going to get him knocked out. But I'm all for that. I do think Ankalaev's going to beat him more decisively this time around. I don't see this as a close fight per se. There's no world where Ankalaev loses to Pereira. I'm glad this fight's actually happening sooner rather than later because now they can't make an excuse because Ankalaev didn't beat the hell out of someone, you know, since then. No one has fought since then, since this one-sided whooping. It happened earlier this year, and I'm glad that Ankalaev's getting a fight. I know Ank wanted summer because Ank wants to be an active champion and fight 3 times this year. This might be his last fight of the year. I don't know, unless he gets Pereira out of there really quickly. But October, come on, dude. Yeah, like that's practically the end of the year. I'm sure it's because Pereira wants a little bit more time to mentally get ready. Yeah, dude. The Cowabunga fans are gonna be all over Pereira, bro. Yeah, to get mentally ready, bro. He's feeling it now. You know. I like this matchup. I like it for both of them, and I think it's gonna show levels. But after Ankalaev beats him back to back, now it's gonna show levels at the light heavyweight division that I've been saying for a long time. I really feel as if Ankalaev's like ahead of every single light heavyweight alive, guys. Pereira is 2. Okay, there's light heavyweights, there's Pereira, and then there's Ank. He's off the screen. He's not even on the camera. You know, Ank is just a different level of fighter, and he's gonna go in there against Pereira and probably doing worse. Hopefully Pereira's a little bit more aggressive and doesn't run the whole time because I know there's a narrative that, oh, dude, Ank had such a boring fight when Pereira was running away because, you know, Pereira fans like to spin anything. But I'm all for that. Of course, time will tell how the fight's actually going to play out, but I don't think anyone is going to pick Pereira unless they just don't like Ankalaev. Like any YouTuber or anyone else, you guys hear your friends saying it, just know they have no logical reason to actually pick him. They're kind of just vibe maxing, which makes sense, and that's going to be that's the MMA community. I don't know the odds. I'm sure the opening odds are going to be favoring Ankalaev, but hopefully closer. But there's like I'm very doubtful that Pereira sees the final bell this time around. I'm 100% sure that Ankalaev will chin this guy and will finish him and will brutalize him. And if Ank wants to wrestle more here, he will succeed in the wrestling. You know, Pereira, people have a misconception that Pereira was just so worried about the takedown. That's why he was getting outstruck. No, guys, I was saying in the stylistic breakdown, Pereira just sucks at straight punches specifically. Look at any fight Pereira's been rocked in, guarantees a straight punch, whether it's Izzy doing it, anyone doing it. Pereira just sucks at avoiding it. Ankalaev happens to have way quicker hand speed, way better counter puncher, and way like really good straight punches. Stylistically on the feet, he owns him. On the ground, he owns him. In the clinch, he owns him. Ankalaev's better than Pereira at everything. And if Pereira doesn't run away this time around, it will be a finish. I'm praying Pereira doesn't run. I'm sure he's going to try to find a way to avoid it again and run than get on the mic and be salty. One of the worst sore losers in the UFC, Yeah, I'm going to bring back this energy, brother, because I know what Ank's going to do to him, and you know what Ank's going to do to him. You like or you don't like, this fight goes one way, and not really much else to say about this fight because it's easy to predict. Moving on, co-main event, Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. I like this fight because it leaves people... It's like a new perspective for people because people are like gonna remember that one Corey Sandhagen knockout when he jumped in with the flying knee, caught the guy coming in. I think that was Frankie Edgar or someone catches the guy coming in with the flying knee. Oh man, Merab got to be careful, dude. Merab's gonna get caught with a flying knee. It just builds that narrative because outside of that, really no chance. Umar Nurmagomedov did 50-45 Corey. Of course, they're different fighters. I do think Umar's a way better striker than Merab. That being said, like a lot of the time when Umar would grapple, he would succeed. But Umar's not as physically strong as Corey because I remember a lot of the time it's just like Umar like trying to get his back and like trying to pull him down and muscle him down. But Corey was like doing a decent job defending. Merab's gonna just be a lot more relentless. I like this fight's interesting in the sense, like I said, like people might be like, oh dude, but Corey's explosion, man. The Cowabunga fans, yeah, man, but the flying knee, dude. I'm expecting that to be, a whole sing-song show about it. Like that's gonna be the only path to picking Corey. But realistically, I think if you're not biased, you kind of understand how this fight goes. I think Merab goes in there and like kind of puts it on him. I do think Corey puts up a better fight than Sugar Sean O'Malley. I think Corey's a better grappler, and I think Corey's striking is a little bit more explosive to a point it will give Merab a little bit of problems. But I still, in the long run, I just don't see Corey beating Merab. I'll say this, though. If anyone could beat Dvalishvili, not named Umar Nurmagomedov, it's Corey Sandhagen. Just given his BJJ, his grappling, and given like his IQ, and given his timing. That's something Merab's going to have to get used to. And if you think it's going to be as easy as a Sugar fight, Merab will lose. If he's going in there like, oh, this is just another Sugar, long-range striker, he's lost his mind. Corey's a lot harder of a fight than Sugar. It'll be closer than the Sugar 1 fight, probably. Yeah. I think it'll be closer than Sugar 1 fight because I feel like Corey uses his length a little bit better than Sugar, and I feel like his timing's a little bit better with Sugar, and I feel like his kicks and stuff and his knees are a little bit more explosive than Sugar. So it's an interesting fight, Like honestly, I'll look into this fight a little bit deeper. As of right now, my early pick, I am gonna obviously have to lean on Dvalishvili because he's shown an improved version of himself in the fight with Sugar Sean O'Malley where he looked really good to me, So that's how I see the fight. I don't really see. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, Corey's going to be the guy to do it. But if anyone not named Umar could do it, it is Corey. Of course, puncher's chance is always a thing. So I'm not going to really pick. Like, I'm not going to officially pick Corey early because of puncher's chance. Because when I look at it from a non-narrow scope, I just have a hard time seeing Corey weather the storm. Merab was going to be way too relentless, guys. But this is an interesting matchup. Way more interesting than the main event. The main event, like, you guys, I look at this fight, I know how I was going. This fight, I look at it, I'm like, okay, it probably goes this way, but you never know. Then this fight here, it's actually pretty close. This is actually close. See, when Khalil Rountree, Jamal Hill was booked to fight, I made my whole video about it. That's not going to be a close fight, guys. Like, that's not going to be close. I understood Khalil stylistically was just too much for Jamal Hill, who's not that good. Yuri Prochazka is interesting. Now, honestly, guys, this one's hard to call right now, but right now, my early gut is telling me Yuri Prochazka probably gets it done, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Khalil Rountree, he needs space. He needs space to work. When I'm saying this, I mean Khalil gets comfortable when like he could blitz in at his own avail and then get out. And if you're really not giving him overwhelming pressure, he'll do it the whole fight. Now, what he did good against Jamal Hill is he chopped the legs, so like Jamal was almost hesitant to engage in him. So he kind of had Jamal like taking pictures in front of him, being scared to engage, and then Khalil will engage and like decide when he wants to go, and then he'll blitz in, he'll catch Jamal, and he put the power threat into like Jamal's head early, as well as chomping his legs. The thing about Yuri, what I showed me, even in the Rakic fight, because Rakic has a lot of great low kicks too. When Rakic was chewing up that leg, I was like, he's doing really good. Like, he's doing everything to beat Yuri Prochazka. Yuri just doesn't respect, one, power coming back at him, and two, he could take a leg kick. The thing about Khalil, I just see him beating him in the early rounds, but the longer the fight goes, I can see Yuri hurting Khalil. Khalil has a good chin, but like he's also susceptible to getting hit by some hard shots. And I feel like Yuri's going to be the guy to do it as the round elongates. Yuri's just a lot to deal with, and I feel like he is a little bit more reactive and crisp in his counter-striking, in contrast to Jamal Hill, who's not as good as a counter-striker as a Yuri Prochazka. And the Yuri Prochazka-Jamal Hill fight showed that like Yuri could get out the way and come back with a good counter-strike. This fight's interesting. I am going to go early Yuri Prochazka because I feel as if he's not going to give Khalil that space and respect that Jamal Hill kind of did. Jamal Hill really like went in on the fire because technically fucking Khalil was dropping Jamal a lot. So I feel like he respected him. Yuri doesn't know what respect is, which is why he like runs into like Pereira left hooks and just runs into power. He doesn't really care about that. It's a negative, but it's also a positive because that fight style does him well against everyone in that division so far, except for really Alex Pereira. Let's be real. And I don't think Alex Pereira or Khalil Rountree carries the Alex power. They both carry power, but I don't think he carries the Alex power, as well as the fact that I feel like he's not Alex size, like height and length. So it's going to be a little bit easier to get in on someone like Khalil Rountree if he doesn't respect him, as well as like these clinch exchanges. Like Yuri can clinch and Yuri can wrestle if he feels the need to, in contrast to Jamal Hill, who's a little bit hard-headed. So if you're fucking like just shitting on Jamal Hill, you'd be like, yeah, man, I'm just going to still plod my way there with my fucking no ACL because I can't even move. I walk like a platypus. Yuri Prochazka is not going to do that. It'll be a hard fight for Khalil Rountree. This is probably the closest fight on the card so far. It's crazy that a 3-fight card so far is already arguably fight of the year for me. But yeah, this is a little bit closer. But I do see Yuri Prochazka giving him a lot of trouble, guys, as far as just the striking is concerned in the clinch. And I know Yuri will make it ugly, which is going to make Khalil Rountree uncomfortable. If Khalil could get this done, then he's going to fight. This is literally for the winner of the main event, you know, unless Alex wins, ends as a trilogy, but let's be real, Alex has no chance of beating Ankalaev. If you say he does, you're a goofball. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight in that sense. I do got Yuri Prochazka winning this fight. I think I'm going to go 3 for 3, bro. Like, no cocky stuff. I think Yuri wins. I think Murad probably wins. And I think Ankalaev puts the beats on Alex Pereira so bad. The footage may be up for 2 minutes. This is what I think. Maybe 2 minutes maximum. But outside of this card, there actually was another fight that was announced. And it was this fight. Aspinall and Gane. Now, how do I view this in general? I'll talk about this one a little bit. I'm not going to really rant, but let's rant a little bit. How the hell, guys, are we giving Gane a title shot off for a robbery? Now, it's weird, but let me tell you why I knew it was going to happen. Once I heard that Jailton Almeida, Volkov was booked, I was like, okay, Almeida's not getting the shot against Aspinall, which is a little bit weird to me. But they're going to give Volkov Almeida for like a reward. Because I remember Dana said, don't worry about this. I'm going to give you a good matchup next. I guess he's giving him Jailton Almeida because the winner of that fight will fight the winner of this fight. But Aspinall Gane's weird because Gane's literally getting rewarded with a fight he didn't look too good in. You know, that fight showed me that Volkov could take you down and show some... Bro, how does Gane not improve his grappling since the Ngannou fight is my thing. This fight's interesting. I will say this, guys. Aspinall can't finish Gane early. Especially in the grappling. Like, yes, you could take down and muscle Gane, but his BJJ understanding is all right to the point where this is going to be the first time Aspinall goes the distance. Quote me on this. And if he doesn't go the distance, it's going to be because he fatigues, not because Gane. Gane has been the distance with, someone like Francis Ngannou with good power, more power than Aspinall, in my opinion. So Gane has been in there with heavy strikers. He's not really going to be too worried about Aspinall, In addition to the fact that Gane, he might be getting taken down, but he doesn't really get submitted. Unless you're John Jones, he hasn't really got submitted, And I know Ngannou, people are like, oh, Ngannou has no BJJ. Ngannou got a mean Kimura. Ngannou got a mean ground and pound. Like, and Aspinall, he's a decent grappler from what I saw, but I haven't seen enough from Aspinall to be like, yeah, dude, he's the guy to fucking run through Gane, man. Just haven't seen that yet. This is going to be the first time Aspinall's tested in later rounds, so we're going to see a lot about Aspinall in this fight. Now, early predictions is interesting because... since I know he's going to go in the later rounds, I'm trying to think about how he does. If this is a straight kickboxing match, Gane's going to school Tom Aspinall, but I doubt it's going to be that. Volkov was doing good in the striking against Gane, but Volkov's also 6'7", 6'8". Them being the same height, I think Gane might be taller, I think they're both 6'5", though. But them being like the same height and around the same frame is going to be interesting and different for Tom Aspinall because he's not used to going against a new-gen heavyweight who moves really well. And he's a really good striker. This is literally a first for Tom Aspinall. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Honestly, I feel like the obvious thing to say here is Tom Aspinall early. But early prediction, I think Gane could bring a side out of Tom Aspinall we've never seen. And Gane could be the undisputed world champion. Oh my God, John Jones will be fucking ecstatic. Ay, Shiba. But I have the gut feeling, guys. Let me just say it. This is an early prediction. I could change my opinion. Don't be a little bit surprised. But... Gane might beat Tom Aspinall. And on paper, Tom Aspinall should beat him, which is going to be a little bit more frightening if Gane has improved his takedown defense and how good really is Aspinall's offensive wrestling. I know he took down Arlovsky, these older guys, but Gane, I'm not saying he has great defensive wrestling. Of course, he's probably going to get taken down, but I do think Gane's expecting Aspinall to kind of go in there with a heavy wrestling approach because I really am a firm believer that Aspinall can't strike with Gane. Aspinall is fast, but he gets caught a lot in a lot of his fights, even by these wrestlers. He's getting like punched up a little bit, jabbed up a little bit. I can see Gane doing something of the same. And it's an interesting fight because I feel like a lot of people are going to overlook Gane early, but early prediction, I think I'm going to go Gane. Of course, I'm going to watch footage. And my pick, I think my pick could change. I'll be real. Out of everything I said today, this is the pick most likely to change. But early, I really feel like Cyril Gane for the upset, being that he's going to take Aspinall to a place he's never been. And Gane does have that 25-minute experience in contrast to Tom Aspinall, whereas I feel like Tom Aspinall might struggle the longer this fight goes. I got Tom Aspinall losing to Cyril Gane, guys, by decision or by finish. If he shits the bed completely, because Aspinall does use a lot of movement, and Cyril Gane has shown that he could bounce for 25 minutes. I've never seen that from Aspinall yet, so we're gonna see a lot from Aspinall. No matter what, both guys will be tested. It'll be a lot closer than probably people think. If Aspinall's game plan is to go in there and try to hold down Cyril Gane for 25 minutes, and 10 minutes into that fight, if you're trying to wrestle, you're already going to be blown out and fatigued because you're not used to wrestling the whole fight. So if you're coming in with a whole different game plan and you try to execute that for 25 minutes, don't be surprised that Tom Aspinall is trying to wrestle him and just try to wear him out, but he's wearing himself out. Then the third, fourth round comes, he's tired, he's fatigued. Then Cyril Gane gets a knockout finish. Guys, if Cyril Gane showed in the Ngannou fight, he could fight throughout that whole fight. Like, Ngannou needed some of these takedowns, guys, and even like he could even scramble a little bit and reverse some of these guys. So careful, man. I think Cyril Gane for the underdog pick might be sleeper, but definitely a possibility, guys. I think I'm going for the upset with Cyril Gane here early. Like I said, time will tell with this fight, but I do have some faith in Cyril Gane and his offensive striking in this fight, in the endurance and the experience. Tom Aspinall might be in for a rude awakening, but let me know what you guys think about this fight specifically. Let me know what you think about the entire card specifically. That's it for me. Have a good one. And God bless. 2, 3, 4.